Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Quack&Co, the channel where everything is 10 minutes or less all the time, every time, and today I'm reviewing Bear Raid from Board Game Tables, covering the best, the worst, and my verdict for this game, where it stands, what are the best parts about it, what I like, not like, all of that. Bear Raid is a stock-taking game. It's a stock-taking game where you're going to have the opportunity, the very, very tempting opportunity to buy and preferably short stock in this game. Every single round across a variable number of rounds, depending on the player count, you're going to be going ahead and taking 2 actions per turn. Going ahead and taking actions from either buying stock or shorting stock or starting rumors, putting dice down over from behind your screen onto the rumors track, which will have a degree of control or influence in terms of how the dice will roll and how the stock markets will change. And you're doing that because, well, if you buy stock, you're ideally hoping that other players go in with you, that people try to find out why that stock is so high and they try to jump in because that stock is going up. And if that stock is going up, well, then you're going to walk away with a lot of money because of it. If you buy 10 stocks at $20 a pop and they slowly move up to 45 and they split and you double your stock and you're keeping track of that all behind your screen on this thing over here, well, that's great because your initial $20 purchase may end up being worth $45, $90. It could be worth a ton of money if that stock continues to grow and to split and to grow and to split, and that can be incredibly good. The other hand is you can also go ahead and short stock. You can go ahead and sell stock you don't even have, effectively taking on debt for that stock and then trying to run that stock into the ground. Buying 5 shares of something for $25 a pop, getting $125 of cash that you can turn around and inject into this game. That is hugely impactful, and it's more impactful if you can make that stock go to zero. Because then you have to pay back nothing. You have to pay back a whole bunch of zero, which is not a problem at all. Or maybe you take the opportunity to pay it back at $5 or $10 a pop, and you're still paying back pennies on the dollar compared to what you actually took out. This is a game of trying to figure out where the markets are going and trying to have a hand in where those markets are going across these rounds of play, using your 2 actions, which are not enough on their own, but then combining it with the other players as you go ahead and try to take those actions to determine the markets. And then from there, when you're done with the action phase, you move to the roll phase, where you're going to roll dice. You're going to grab cards from the rumors card, any dice you try to potentially add to the market to manipulate what comes out. You're going to grab 3 dice per player from this bag of everything combined. You're going to roll them and you're going to adjust the markets accordingly. This is a game of messing with the stock market and trying to have everything you want and not being able to have everything you want. The best part of Bear Raid, easily the best part is exactly what I talked about already. The fact that you can go ahead and you can buy a stock and watch it rise to the moon and turn around and make an absolute killing on it, or the reverse, taking out loans effectively on stock, betting against yourself that something will fail and you'll have to pay back zero. Paying back zero is tremendously helpful in this game because you're, well, paying back zero. And this is such a cool moment when you can inject that degree of cash into your engine and not even have to pay anything for it, as long as you abstract the fact that a company failed and people lost their jobs. That's all in the fake world over here. We have a little bear on the cover. This is not a real game. This is a fun game where you can do all the dangerous, horrible things without the real world negative impacts. The worst part of Bear Raid, on the other hand, is the fact that sometimes you can be in this game and you can know early on that you are not winning the game. If you don't have something working in your advantage in the first few rounds, if you buy stock with the intention of shorting it and it grows too quickly, if you buy stock with the intention of holding on to it and other players shorting it falls to zero, you can survive one of those, not a problem. If that happens to you too often in the first 2 or 3 rounds of the game, you're effectively playing a dead game the entire time. Sure, you'll have fun, hopefully, assuming you're not like too wrapped up in it, but you could be playing a game of Bear Raid where you know you're not winning 2 or 3 rounds in, and that does take away a little bit of the fun. It takes away a little bit of the sense of actual skill or restraint, and it just turns it into a, hey, I'll continue engaging because I'm hanging out with my friends and having a good time, but I am in some way losing some of the sense of strategy because any sense of actual winning or losing has gone. So those are the best and worst parts. It gives you a lot of highs, a lot of opportunities to play with the market. It does so in a quick, fast-paced game that is very rewarding, very easy to play, very easy to teach, and very, very satisfying when it goes well. And then when it doesn't go well and things work out against you again and again and again, you are stuck in a game that you know full well you're not winning, which is a little bit less fun than it could otherwise be. As far as my verdict on Bear Raid, it's fantastic. I love this game. It's a solid game that I really, really enjoy. I love having this one in my collection. I love diving into it and playing around the markets. It's generally short enough that while that aspect of losing can happen, I don't really mind because I'll just dive into it another time, and it's become one of my go-to stock-taking games as far as messing around the market, abstracting everything else that is unnecessary to the core premise of just messing with the market. Bear Raid from Board Game Tables is a fantastic game. I'm Alex Radcliffe from Quack&Co, where less time watching means more time playing.